Chapter 4, Body Check. The next morning you linger in the parking lot before heading to work. Your fingers beat a nervous pattern on your steering wheel, your whole body on edge. I'm not sure if I can do this. If Laurie's still mad at me, if he won't even talk to me. You give your appearance a quick peek in the rearview mirror, but it's no use. I look exactly like someone who spent a sleepless night. You draw a deep breath, hoping to calm your nerves. It's not as if anything happened with Hunter last night, right? I mean, we did get kinda close over the beer pong table. You swing your legs out of the car with a groan. There's no way you can deny how good it felt to have Hunter's undivided attention last night. Or how much Laurie needs a good shaking up. I want to feel his arms around me again. Good shaking up. You set your face with grim determination. Laurie was obviously hurt, but it's not as if you promised him anything. I gave him every opportunity to stake a claim last night. It's not my fault if he chose not to. To your surprise, you find Laurie waiting for you in the hall outside your office. Laurie. Oh, hi. I was hoping you'd be in early today. He takes a stride towards you with his arms outstretched before remembering what passed between you last night. Sorry to ambush you like this, but we need to talk. Right now? He rubs a rueful hand on the back of his neck, looking more uncertain and adorable than you've ever seen him. I just want to say sorry about last night. I got in my head. It happens to the best of us. I was hoping you could set aside some time for me after practice, if it's not too much to ask. Wait, does this mean my plan worked? Is he ready to admit that I got to him? Laurie, I'll always have time for you. You're touched by the doubt in his voice, but even more so by the hopeful gleam in his eye. Of course we can talk later, Laurie. You know I can never say no to you. He swallows reflexively, his eyes darken with sudden intensity. I'm starting to realize that. Quick, so quick you almost miss it. He reaches out and lightly grazes your hand. So it's a date then? You, me, a long, peaceful, friendly chat after practice. It'll be just like old times. He opens his mouth as if he wants to say more, but stops himself at the last second. Yeah, Jules, just like old times. As you watch him walk away, a feeling of anticipation adds a bounce to your step. That's the face of a man who's finally coming to his senses, I hope. You head straight for the locker room in search of Hunter. Sure enough, he's dressed for practice and getting ready to hit the ice when you arrive. Perfect timing. I was just about to show the team how well I play hungover. Sorry to break it to you, but all the Snow Tigers play well hungover. It's our secret weapon. But that's not why I'm here. Guess what just happened? Sorry, Jules, but those aren't the kind of games I like to play. You punch him playfully on the arm, your fist deflecting off his strained bicep. Getting warmer. You push down the floor and feeling low in your belly and tell him the good news. Stop playing around. You'll never guess who just cornered me outside of my office. Smile on his face fades fast. Damn, Laurie didn't waste any time, did he? Was he supposed to? Hunter rolls his shoulders in a half shrug, his gaze not quite meeting yours. He just seems like the type to waste all of his time thinking instead of acting. I've never respected guys like that. If you want something in the world, you have to take it. Hunter, are you from the Stone Age? You sound like you just crawled out of the primordial ooze. Relationships are more complicated than hitting someone over the head and dragging them to your cave. Says the woman who pretty much begged me to thump my chest at Laurie. You're welcome for that, by the way. He crosses his arms with a smug grin. All it took for your crush to notice you was a guy who knows how to treat you right. It's not like that. Nice try. You forgot that I was there last night and that I didn't run away at the first sign of any competition. At the rush of heat moves through you, embarrassment, pleasure mingling with something more, something that makes your chest grow tight. It wasn't like that. Laurie's getting over a rough divorce, that's all. You don't understand what real love looks like. It's not all sweet and seduction, you know. There's more to real life than that. Well, if that's the case, then why don't you need me? You know why. I don't care if you waste your time, Jules, but I care if you waste mine. He grabs his things, turns away with a rough, jerky movement. Stop lying to yourself and admit the truth. He stalks away before you can stop him. Even though you're furious at him for speaking to you like that, you can't help but feel a small, nagging worry. What if he's right and Laurie will never see me the way I see him? You take your usual place on the sidelines as practice gets underway. The team is in top form, with the exception of Hunter, who slices across the ice with more aggression than usual. I can't be any more than open than this, Burke. You're not gonna get the puck every time, rookie. This is a team effort, remember? Uh-oh, here we go again. Yeah, baby, light this thing up. You watch the gameplay with mixed feelings. There's no denying that the team has never played better or with so much conflict. Hunter and Laurie could both be such good players if they'd actually accept that they're on the same team. Uh-oh. Can we run the neutral zone regroup play again, this time without the fouls? Sean's right. We have to keep this play tight, which means you need to learn to control yourself, Malik. Hunter stops in front of Laurie with a high spray that sputters up in his face. How's that for controlled, man? He cast an anxious look over at Coach Howie, but all he's doing is smiling and nodding along. Coach, don't you need to support Laurie's role as team captain? Laurie's doing his best to keep the team in order out there, but he can't do that if Hunter undermines him at every turn. Coach Howie just smiles to himself and leans over the boards. This is all going according to plan. All of a sudden, Hunter breaks out from the play and skates down the center of the ice, pushing past several players to score a goal. See, Laurie, your old school ways aren't going to cut it much longer. You gotta fight for a goal eventually. Your tactics-free hero hockey won't cut it here. This isn't one of your street games. You got a problem with how I got my start, first rounder? I don't care where your draft profile says you started. I care how you play. And if you hurt a single one of my players with your recklessness, I'll make sure you know it. You cast another worried glance at the coach, but all he does is gleefully rub his hands. Take it out on the puck. He turns to you with a conspiratorial grin. Just wait, Jules. I've never seen anyone bring out the inner fire in these two. I'm just worried that someone is going to get hurt. One of them is going to take things too far. You think? My money's on Malik. Bro, what in the hell? You are not a coach, dude. You saw him turn your attention back to practice. It's obvious that Coach Howie isn't going to listen to you. And I seriously doubt Laurie and Hunter will either. You watch wincing as the two hockey players continue to take their aggression out on one another. During the drills, Hunter keeps breaking away while Laurie continues to restrain him. You're out of your position, Malik. Screw you, Burke. The whole world seems to slow down as Hunter turns and cuts Laurie off with a high stick, and it catches under Laurie's visor, slashing him right under his eye. Oh no. Yep, no, she literally were in sync. You grab your bag and rush onto the ice within seconds. Laurie is still standing, but a huge gash under his eye spills blood down his cheek. Sit down, Laurie. The last thing I need is for you to pass out and make things worse. Laurie looks dazed but amused as you start dabbing at the cut. He smells of sweat and ice, his body heaving as he struggles to catch his breath. Relax, Doc. It's not that deep. Laurie, you should know better than to taunt bullies on the playground. You pour extra disinfectant onto the gauze and press it mercilessly against the open cut. But damn, Jules, what happened to your bedside manner? If you're gonna act like a fool, then I'm gonna treat you like one. You try to hide how much your hand is shaking, but Laurie sees it and clutches you lightly around the wrist. I'm okay, Jules, really. Yeah, Jules, it's all part of the game. You turn to glare at Hunter. As you expect, he's standing back and watching with a sneer twisting his lips. Maybe you should kiss him and make it better. You purse your lips and blow lightly on Laurie's face. Every part of you longs to do as Hunter taunts, and press your mouth to the swelling bruise under Laurie's eye, but you don't dare. Oh, everyone's watching, and when I'm supposed to be the professional one. Despite the medical attention, Laurie sways on his feet. You don't like his color, and you definitely don't like how deep the cut looks. I think you might need stitches. The circle of Laurie's hand tightens on your wrist. Still gentle, but firm, warm pressure. Your concern is sweet, but I'm fine. I've suffered worse. Then you're gonna suffer even more if you don't get treatment. Are you gonna patch him up yourself? You feel the weight of Hunter's gaze on you and the tension practically thrumming in every muscle of Laurie's body. It's your call, Jules. Let me guess, diamonds? And to Laurie's wounds. Laurie, come with me. I'll take care of you. You get Laurie off the ice and steer him towards the medical office. He goes meekly, but you can tell there's nothing meek about his mood. Jules, Don't. Whatever you have to say can wait. You snap your fingers and point towards the exam table. Now sit down so I can properly clean the wound. He does as you ask, an amused smile playing about his lips. I don't remember you being this bossy before. Is it wrong to say I kind of like it? Your heart flutters to your throat, but you force yourself to focus on the task at hand. Don't try to charm me for the next 30 minutes. You're my patient, not my friend. Why not both? A man can be more than one thing. You gather up the supplies you'll need and snap on a pair of latex gloves. Laurie's eyes widen at the sight of them. I'll be the one asking the questions from here on out, thank you very much. Starting with what you're trying to prove out there. You poke roughly at the edges of his wound, as you suspect the cut runs a lot deeper than it looks. You know better than to provoke a hot-headed new recruit who thinks he has something to prove. I know I do. I just couldn't seem to help myself. So you're admitting it? He flashes you a cocky smile that has earned him a magazine cover. I might be a team captain, but I'm also human. I can only be pushed so far. The room seems to shrink half its size. You try to focus on the injury, but you can't ignore how warm and solid his body is next to yours. If I didn't know better, Bert, I'd say you were trying to sweet-talk me. Only trying. I'd better step up my game, then. He winces as you finish disinfecting the wound and pull out a needle and thread to stitch it up. Do we have to? Can't you just, stick a bandage on it? You don't want a gnarly scar, do you? That depends. Are gnarly scars ugly or are they hot? You pretend to think about it, but you already know that nothing could make Laurie less gorgeous in your eyes. On you, definitely hot. That settles it. Cut a matching one on the other side. Not a chance. Now, get ready because I'm going in. Laurie watches you carefully for a second before letting his voice drop to a low rumble. And maybe you should give me something to distract me from the pain. There's no ignoring the way his voice sends shivers up and down your spine, or how much you want to do exactly as he commands. I should distract him by sitting astride his lap, taking off my shirt, telling him about the first time I ever saw him play. We have to be professional. Taking off your shirt? Really? Do you know what happened the first time I ever saw you? You let your voice fall into a soft, soothing purr as you press the needle against his skin and prepare to stitch him up. No, should I? Definitely not. It was at a 3-on-3 tournament you were holding with a bunch of friends, not professionals, but people who just loved hockey. Wait, you were there that day? In a surprise, Laurie barely registers the pain at the first stitch. Yeah, I'd just gotten done with my job interview. You guys were so good that I hid in the top row, watched the whole thing from start to finish. I can't believe I didn't notice you. You bandaged the wound before stripping off your gloves with a snap. There, all better. Wait, you're done already? You don't look surprised. This is, why I get paid the big bucks. He looks oddly disappointed as he reaches up and fingers the neat row of stitches. Damn, here I thought I'd get a little more downtime before I needed back on the ice. I mean, I could check for a concussion. He catches onto your meaning with a quick grin. Now that you mention it, whatever scent you're wearing is making me dizzy. In that case, I'd better check your pulse. You slide your hand down the side of his face until you find the warm, softly beating spot underneath his ear. Well, Doc, am I gonna live? You slide your hand a little higher, letting the tips of your fingers tangle in the perspiration-damp strands of his hair. As if on cue, his breath catches, his pulse flares. Strong and steady, just the way I like it. As much as you'd love to continue tending to Lori in every way possible, you know it's high time he was back at practice. You can tell Coach Howie that you have the official all clear from me. Just be careful with yourself out there, okay? Lori doesn't make a move to get up. I'm starting to think that being careful is what got me into this mess in the first place. Before you can think better of it, you lean in and press a soft, lingering kiss to the cut. Lori doesn't even move except to suck in a long, sharp breath that whispers down your cheek. There, now, you're back to your old self again. Lori flushes, touching the wound again, this time with a surprised but pleased smile. You're wrong there, Jules. My old self may never return after this. You wave him off and start to clean up the supplies. You don't trust yourself to speak without your voice cracking. Or without trying to kiss the rest of him in the process. As soon as practice is over, you run down to Hunter in the sauna. Whirls of heat wash over you as you step inside the cedar-lined room. The heat flares into an inferno and you notice Hunter leaning up against one wall, wearing nothing but a towel. Just the woman I was hoping to see, in the mood for something a little steamy. You bar the door closed and plant yourself in front of it. Not funny, Hunter. What the hell was that all about? Where I come from, we call it hockey. I call it petty and beneath you. You're better than this, Hunter. Oh yeah? And how would you know? You barely know me. Please, I've known men like you my whole life. You put Lori's health in danger to suit your own ego. Hunter's jaw tightens, but he doesn't move from his relaxed position. The soapbox speech is a bit rich coming from you, isn't it? What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what it sounds like, Jules. I'm not like you. I don't sit back, let people walk all over me. I don't do that. Hunter pushes himself to his feet with one jerk movement. The towel dips low on his body, but he doesn't bother to adjust it as he looms closer. Can't you see that guy is what he's doing to you? He's stringing you along because he knows he can. No matter how bad he treats you, you just kneel at his feet and take it. The shock at his words isn't nearly as strong as your shock at how angrily he spits them out. His face twists in a sneer, his entire body tense as he practically dares you to refute him. Yeah, well, you have no idea what real feelings look like. You match a sneer with one of your own. Thrusting out your chest, you take a step towards him until your toes bump. You wouldn't know an honest emotion if it bit you on the ass. Wrong. My ass and I are always on the same page. You're the one who wanted to play these games with Lori, not me. He scoffs, rolls his eyes, but you notice that they soften around the edges as he continues staring you down. You're mad at the wrong person. I'm not the one who can't see what's standing right in front of him. Oh yeah? What's that? A gorgeous, smart, incredible person who's basically offering herself on a silver platter. I mean, he's not wrong. His gaze softens even more, an amused smile playing about his lips. There are men in this world who like the kind of tricks you got up to last night, and we aren't too chicken to do something about it either. He leans in, one hand raised as though he wants to yank you close. All the anchor's gone now, replaced by something much hotter. You tilt your chin, half in defiance, half in invitation. That's all Hunter needs to hook the back of your neck and pull you to his waiting mouth. The first touch of his mouth is surprisingly tender, as though he's trying to savor your taste. His lips brush against yours once, twice, and then he drags you closer with a growl. You feel his tongue coaxing you open and let him in. So you do. Now this is what I'm talking about. As his tongue sweeps into your mouth, you can feel the dam breaking. In that moment, all the tension that's been building up between the two of you seems to explode in 1,000 fiery sensations. You slide your hands around his waist, up his back, your body yielding to his as he slashes his mouth over yours over and over again. Hell yeah, I knew this tiger was inside you somewhere. This tiger is getting started. I'll push him up against the wall, tug his towel down a few inches. Wall. With a growl of your own, you push Hunter towards the nearest wall. He falls back with a laugh, and with his whole body braced and ready to catch you. Don't provoke the beast unless you're prepared to fight her. Do your worst, Jules, I dare you. You don't wait for another invitation. As you press up against him, you take his lower lip between your teeth and tug. He immediately turns the kiss back on you, his hands skimming down the sides of your body. Everywhere he touches seems to come hot, vibrating life as he lets you all the way into his mouth. Your breath is already starting to come hard and fast, your whole body trembling to feel his mouth on yours again. But just as you're about to touch your lips to his, he dips his head down to the side of your throat. The pressure of his mouth against the sensitive skin sets off something wild inside of you. You moan your approval as his mouth slides lower and lower. The heat in the sauna is almost unbearable, but not nearly as unbearable as the slow, tentative creep of his hand towards your thigh. Oh God, I can't believe this is really happening. Believe it, Jules, and enjoy. You gasp aloud as his touch shifts towards the inside of your thigh. You can feel him moving higher and higher, asking for permission. Hands like his could do some serious damage, and I want to be wrecked in the best possible way. Time of choice. Just say no, kids. We already know where that was going to go, let's be honest. And I'm also not in the mood for it. You force yourself to circle his wrist. Hold him back from those last few delicious inches. The move takes all your willpower, and you sigh with the effort of it. Guess you're still a bit scared, huh? Not scared, just hot. You can say that again. You release a low, shaky laugh. This isn't at all how I imagine our first kiss. Hunter adjusts his towel with his usual cocky grin back in place. But you did imagine it. That's the most important thing. Your heart pounds and your whole body feels on fire as you prepare to head out of the sauna. You can still feel the hot pressure of his mouth on yours like a brand. So what happens now? Now you're just going to be thinking of me the next time Laurie leaves you on the hook. His gaze strays to your mouth and lingers there a bit too long, which is how I want it. He winks at you before yanking the door open, heading out into the cooler air of the locker room. You follow him out on shaky legs, and Hunter grabs his clothes from the locker and tosses them on. You stop short when you notice Laurie standing fixed at the other end of the room. Hey. Hunter doesn't even bat an eye as he brushes past the older player. No hard feelings about the eye, yeah? Looks like you might survive to play another day. Is that supposed to be an apology? Sure, if you need it to be. Hunter pauses just long enough to cast you a smirk before grabbing his things and heading out for the night. You're left alone in the locker room with Laurie, both of you staring at one another as the silence of the empty locker room envelops you. You try to discreetly adjust your clothes and hair, but you can feel him watching you. Uh-oh, I bet he can totally see the sweat and saliva on me. Laurie, did you still want to have the talk? Do you do your best to look and act natural? You said you had something you wanted to discuss? It's not important anymore. Oh, my dude, Christ, come on. You're terrified that you've ruined this with Laurie forever, but he lifts a hand under his eye and gives you a soft smile. I barely even feel it, by the way. You took good care of me today. He takes a step towards you, looking more gorgeous and accessible than you've ever seen him before. You always take good care of me. You're worth taking care of. In that case, the least I can do is repay. What do you say to drinks sometime next week? Your heartbeat lights up at the offer, but you're careful not to give too much away. Laurie already holds your heart in the palm of his hand. You don't know how you'll recover if he squeezes too hard. You mean like a date? Yeah, Jules. Exactly like a date. Well, then my answer is yes. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe. Head down to the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. Also, let me know your thoughts going forward or whatnot. Hey, if you don't want to, otherwise let me know how your day is. Hopefully you guys are staying warm, well, or whatnot, depending on where you live. Sorry about being late about this. Just, again, still fighting something off. Trying the best I can, you know? Sometimes you just gotta rest, and it's been one of those days. Oh, aside from that, once again, thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.